All right, everyone. So have you guys seen this pyramid flow thing? It's been blowing up on Hugging Face.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like everyone's talking about it for good reason, too.
People are saying it's kind of a big deal for AI video, and naturally we have to see what's up. So imagine this for a second. What if you could just type up a description, like just type it out, and then boom, you're watching it come to life as a video, a high-quality video at that.
Let the dream, right?
Right. No more messing around with crazy expensive software or trying to figure out those like super complex editing tools. Nope. Just pure AI doing its magic. That's what Pyramid Flow is promising, at least. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into this whole thing and see if it really lives up to all this hype. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely got people's attention, and for a good reason.
Hmm.
The really fascinating thing about Pyramid Flow isn't just that it's another AI model, it's more like a sign of a much bigger shift happening, like this move towards open source development in the world of AI.
Okay, so let's break this whole open source thing down a bit for everyone. Why is it such a big deal? Why is everyone so hyped about it?
All right, so think of it this way. Imagine if, say, the recipe for your favorite dish, right?
Hmm.
Imagine it was locked away in some vault, totally inaccessible, only a select few could get to it.
Ooh, secret recipe. I like it.
Right. Now, open source is basically like someone took that vault and just like threw the doors wide open, shared that recipe with the whole world. Now anyone can grab it, try it out, maybe even tweak it a bit, experiment, and who knows, they might even come up with an even better version.
I'm already hungry for this new version.
Exactly. So in terms of AI, this all means is that the technology is becoming way more accessible, it's more transparent, and it really encourages people to collaborate and work together.
So instead of just a handful of big companies holding all the cards, controlling everything about AI video, we're talking about a future where, like, anyone with an internet connection can get in on the action.
That's the whole idea.
That's huge.
It is. Now, let's actually get into Pyramid Flow itself, what it's all about. At its core, it's this AI video model, and it's built on something called a transformer architecture, which might ring a bell.
Okay, now, if I'm remembering correctly, and please jump in if I'm wrong, but transformer architecture, that's the same kind of tech behind ChatGPT, right?
I got it.
So we're talking about a system that doesn't just understand what you're asking, but can actually respond to like really complex requests. Only this time it's giving you videos, not just spitting out text.
You're exactly right. And it's not just about like understanding the request either. Pyramid Flow is actually really good at generating videos that are surprisingly coherent and visually impressive. Like it's a huge step forward for open source AI for sure.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does this even work?
Yeah.
Let's say I want to see a cat playing drums. I tell Pyramid Flow this, and suddenly there's a video of it on my screen. Feels like magic.
Well, there's a lot going on under the hood, but there are two main techniques that really make Pyramid Flow stand out. The first is called the spatial pyramid technique, and then there's the temporal pyramid technique. They work together.
Okay, so two pyramid techniques, spatial and temporal. Got it. Break them down for me.
All right, so imagine you're focusing a camera lens, right? You twist and twist that lens, going from blurry to crystal clear, picking up every single detail with more and more sharpness as you go. That's basically what Pyramid Flow, the spatial part, does for each frame of the video. It's like it starts with this kind of blurry image and then gradually sharpens it up until it's super clear.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
And then it takes those crazy sharp frames and blends them all together so smoothly that you get actual motion.
So instead of just seeing a bunch of still images kind of strung together, we're getting smooth, natural-looking movement.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
And that's where the temporal pyramid technique comes in, the second part of the magic. It makes sure that all those transitions between the frames, they flow nicely and make sense. So the whole video just flows naturally, just like a professionally made video should.
No more AI creations moving like they just learned to walk.
Right, exactly.
Okay, this is already blowing my mind, and I know our listeners are probably dying to actually see this thing in action. So tell me, what's the deal with this Hugging Face demo?
So the demo is really cool. It's a great way to get a feel for what Pyramid Flow can actually do. You can literally type in any description, anything, like say, a dog wearing a hat, riding a skateboard. Goofy, I know, but...
No, I love it. Keep going.
And then you get to watch as Pyramid Flow tries to actually create that to make that vision a reality.
That's wild. And anyone can just hop on Hugging Face and mess around with it.
That's the beauty of it.
That's seriously impressive. But let's be real for a sec. How good is the output? I mean, I've seen AI make some pretty interesting, let's call them creative choices in the past.
Right, I hear you. And that's why benchmarks are so important. They give us a way to measure how well these models are actually doing objectively, with data. And when it comes to pyramid flow, the results are honestly really impressive.
All right, don't hold out on us. Give us the numbers. How's it stack up?
So in benchmark testing, pyramid flow got a score of 81.72 overall. And to put that into perspective, that puts it nearly head to head with some of the best proprietary AI video models out there.
Okay, I'll bite. What models, what are we comparing it to?
Well, for example, there's Kling AI.
Okay, so it's going up against the big leagues.
Yeah, and holding its own, which is a really big deal, especially for an open source model.
I'm impressed. That's seriously impressive. But I'm guessing there's always a but, right? I mean, no tech is perfect, so what are the limitations here? What are we giving up?
You're totally right, there's always a trade-off. Benchmarks are a good starting point, definitely, but they don't tell the whole story. And with any new technology, especially in AI, things move so fast, you really got to double check everything, make sure it holds up. Independent verification is key, always.
So we can't just assume it's perfect based on some numbers, right? We go
Yeah.
see it in action, test it out ourselves.
Hmm.
But speaking of limitations, what are we looking at here? What are the downsides?
So one of the big ones right now, and this is something a lot of people are talking about, is the hardware.
Oh, here we go, the catch.
Yeah, to run pyramid flow locally, you'd need a really beefy computer. And I'm talking serious processing power, expensive GPUs, the kind of stuff you find in like high-end gaming rigs or research labs.
Not something I can just download and run on my 5-year-old laptop.
Probably not yet anyway.
Okay, there goes my weekend project.
But honestly, and this is really important, this is actually where the whole open source thing could be huge. Because imagine a bunch of developers getting their hands on this, working on it. They could potentially optimize it, make it run way more efficiently, even on less powerful hardware.
Okay, so instead of needing a dedicated studio setup, you could be making these AI videos from your phone, your tablet even.
Exactly. And it's not just about, individuals making videos. Think about education, right? Teachers could create these super engaging video lessons tailored for each student, or students could use it to make their own creative projects.
Okay, now we're talking about real change, leveling the playing field. But let's stick to reality for a minute. What about people who don't have the latest and greatest hardware right now? Are there workarounds for them?
Definitely. Cloud-based solutions are like the perfect answer here. Imagine subscribing to a service, and it gives you all the computing power you need virtually. No need to buy expensive hardware yourself.
So you're basically renting a virtual supercomputer for your AI video needs.
That's a great way to put it.
That's clever. Okay, so, and maybe I'm just naturally skeptical, but even with all this amazing potential, there's got to be a downside to all this open source stuff, right?
You're right to ask that. I mean, every new technology has its challenges, right? Open source has a ton of potential, but it's not always sunshine and roses.
Okay, so spill the tea. What are we missing?
Well, for example, there are definitely valid concerns about the environmental impact. Training and running these huge AI models takes a ton of energy, like a lot of energy. And that can lead to a lot of carbon emissions.
So as much as we love the cool creative possibilities, we can't forget about the planet.
Exactly. Sustainability has to be a top priority as we develop and improve these AI tools. It's not just an option, it's a necessity.
Totally agree. It sounds like there's a real need for responsible innovation in this space. We need to find that balance. But shifting gears a bit, let's talk about our listeners. For those who are super eager to try out Pyramid Flow, where should they start? Where do they go?
Well, the Hugging Face demo is a no-brainer. It's totally free, super easy to use, and it lets you play around with the text-to-video features, get a feel for it. You can literally type in something and watch it happen, see your words become a video.
And I'm guessing, knowing how these things go, if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you can actually dive into the code itself. Open source, right? So it's all out in the open.
You know it. The entire code base is right there. Anyone can check it out, even modify it, build on it. That's the beauty of open source. This level of transparency and collaboration, it's what makes this whole thing so exciting.
It's like giving everyone the keys to the castle, letting them explore. Now, before we wrap up our little Pyramid Flow adventure here, I'm curious about the bigger picture. Do you think open source models like this have what it takes to shake things up? I mean, right now, AI video creation is dominated by these huge tech companies with their proprietary models, right?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And to be completely honest, it's still early days. We're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
AI is moving so fast. Trying to predict the future is, well, good luck.
A fool's errand, right? But I gotta ask,
However, There are signs.
So you're saying it's like a nail biter right now. Everyone's on the edge of their seats to see how this whole thing plays out.
Kind of, yeah. But honestly, what I find really exciting is that we're even having this conversation in the first place. The fact that an open source model like Pyramid Flow can actually compete, go head to head with these giant tech companies, that says a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
It really is. It says a lot about the power of open collaboration, and the creativity and ingenuity within that whole open source community.
It's like a real-life David versus Goliath, but in the AI world.
It really is. But beyond the competition, who's going to win, who's going to be the best, I think this whole rise of open source AI, it has really big implications for creativity itself.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What kind of future are we looking at here? Paint me a picture.
All right, so imagine a world where the tools to make these high-quality videos, right? It's not limited to a select few anymore. Anyone with a story they want to tell, an idea, whatever, they can actually make it happen. They can make a video, and it could be good, high quality. That's the potential we're talking about.
So it's about democratizing access to these tools, these really powerful tools, and breaking down the barriers that have always been there,
Mm.
for filmmaking, animation, video production, everything.
Exactly. And when those barriers disappear, I think we're going to see a huge explosion of creativity
Yeah.
and diversity, like so many more voices, different perspectives. In the stuff we watch, it's a really exciting time to be paying attention to this, no doubt.
It really does sound like it. Well, I know we've got some listeners out there who are ready to jump in feet first
Yeah.
into this whole world of AI video creation. So for them, what's the most important thing to keep in mind as they're starting out, as they're exploring?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is to just approach this whole thing with curiosity. Don't be afraid to play around, experiment, but also remember to be responsible. Like, don't forget that these AI tools, they're just that. Tools. They can do some amazing things, help us bring our ideas to life, but it's still on us, the humans, to use them the right way.
Solid advice. So yeah, go out there, listeners, get your hands dirty, try Pyramid Flow, experiment, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to create the next big viral video sensation. An AI-powered one, of course.
I'd watch it.
And that just about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Pyramid Flow, everyone. Hopefully you're walking away with a little more knowledge, a little bit of inspiration, and maybe your mind is just slightly blown.
Mine still is.
Before we sign off, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got links to all the stuff we talked about, the demo, everything. And if you want more deep dives into the crazy world of tech, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. Until next time, happy creating.